Welcome to Private Money Secrets. I'm Keith Yackey and I'm your host, and all we talk about here is private money, real estate, and some other fun stuff. Grab your favorite beverage. Let's dive in.
Here's one thing I've come to realize in the midst of this trying time that our nation and really our world is going through, and that is a lot of us lack emotional intelligence, emotional stability, emotional wherewithal to be able to handle things that don't go our way. And the truth of the matter is this panic, this pandemic, this thing that we're all in the midst of is revealing some weak spots in your emotional game. Things aren't going the way you want, and, we let the world know it. We show our instability, and I think that lacks a lot of maturity. And it's great when something's exposed. Whenever you have a hole in your system that's exposed, what that is, that's a vulnerability. And frankly, personally, I don't believe in evolution on a macro level. I don't think that we evolved from apes. I don't think that's not my personal belief. You can believe what you want. I really don't care. I don't talk about religion or faith or anything like that hardly ever, because frankly, whatever you believe is what you believe, and honestly, I don't really care. Now, having said that, one of the tenets of evolution is that basically the weak get weeded out, and whatever problem they're having adapting is what causes that animal's demise. And so while I may not believe in a macro evolution type philosophy, I think there's some tenets that are really true when it comes to innovation and evolving in business and in life. And so yeah, things have changed. So what are you going to do about it? You can cry about it, but nobody cares. You can cry about it and show your emotional instability, but nobody gives a shit. You can cry about it, but nobody's coming to rescue you. You now have been exposed, and your emotions that go up and down every single day, it's showing your emotional instability. And so at this point, what you have to do is you have to realize, wait a second, I have a vulnerability that's going to radically damage and hurt my species, my family, my kingdom, my business, who I am, the life that I want to live. That's not what we as humans are. We as humans are adaptable as all get out. We as humans, we see something, we realize that's going to take me out. I'm going to have to change. I have to move. I have to do something different. But what I've realized, it's the emotional stability. It's the ability to handle your emotions under pressure. So how do we do that? Here's a couple quick tips. Number one, I think when you manage your metrics, it helps you manage your emotions. So a lot of times we just think, oh, nobody's buying, nobody's selling, nobody's doing this. Well, yeah, but go look at the numbers. What does the data actually say, not the drama? What's the data really telling you? The data says that, yeah, some numbers are down. Some people aren't buying. But that also, the data says that a lot more people are interested and are buying. So how do you make your offer interesting enough to them? All right. That's first thing, foremost. Secondly, to manage your emotions, you have to manage your energy source. Our energy source is our food. Our energy source is our sleep. Our energy source is our social interaction. Our energy source is the sun. Our energy source is water. All the most basic shit that nobody thinks about is actually what gives you the energy to be able to handle something or not handle something. And so a lot of the emotional breakdowns, I believe, are coming from people sitting around, not moving. The greatest quote about energy that I've heard was from Brennan Burchard. He didn't say you just, have energy. He says you create energy. Just like the power plant doesn't have power, it creates power. And I love that analogy. You don't have emotional stability. You create emotional stability. So you're making sure, hey, I'm spending some time in the sun. I'm moving. I'm getting out to walk. I'm going to drink lots of water. Drink a gallon of water. Go shock your system and actually hydrate it. I'm going to get 7 or 8 hours of sleep because you know what? My body needs it to recoup and to rest. I'm going to have some great social interaction with people, and it's not just crying about bills and whatever. I'm going to talk about the things I love about the people around me. Having those types of things in your life are important. And then the last thing I think is really important, not just doing those things, but having a routine that causes you to do those things. Why? Because in a time when you feel like you're out of control, having something you do control gives you that feeling of power. It gives you the feeling of, hey, I can control this. And the bottom line is there's only things you can really control is your attitude and your effort. So to keep your attitude looking perky, to keep your attitude looking up, you need to have a routine that you can fall back on. Hey man, I go and get sweaty every day for 30 minutes no matter what. Well, that's going to do a lot for my brain, a lot for my mind. I'm going to tackle something new. I'm going to focus. I'm going to read. I'm going to listen to good positive podcasts like this one. I'm going to do these types of things so that way my body and my mind knows the routine. And even though it's going chaotic all around, I've got my routine that I'm hunkered in on. So I think if you practice those 3 things, you're going to find that you're going to have a real lift of emotional stability. And I think, frankly, if we get to the point in realizing crying about something or being a victim or blaming other people, it's just a bad look on everybody. And the bottom line is nobody's coming to save you. And so nobody wants to hear your shit. Once you realize that, because remember, as kids, we cried out looking for attention. We cried out looking for help, and we got it. And so we became emotionally used to that, stimulus and response. But we're adults now. You don't need to be crying out. You don't need to be, asking people to help you here, and next thing. You are your savior. You are the one coming to save you. Now, if you do really need help, of course, reach out. Tell your close friends, hey man, I could use some help. But just crying out for attention is not something that you need to be doing. It's not going to help you become emotionally stable. And when you're more emotionally stable, you make more money, you have more fun, life is better, period, end of story. So stick with those 3 things. Let's get you emotionally stable, and let's really come out this end of this much better than we went into it. That's all I got for you today. Take care.
All right, so if you're wanting to learn how to raise more private money, go to www.privatemoneypro.com, www.privatemoneypro.com, where I can show you how to be a private money pro. Take care and go rock it.